The first part of this episode is my take on sound healing, how it's possible, and what it's like to receive a sound healing for anyone who's curious. Something like sound healing is a really good complement to a complicated, full modern life. It's not just the sounds that sound good to us, it's what is inscripted on the vibrational wave that you're hearing. So recently I did a full podcast episode with a sound healer. I was in her sound studio for a couple of hours. We experienced all of the technical difficulties that can exist. Nothing exported properly, nothing recorded properly. The reason why I'm mentioning this too and finding it a little bit entertaining is there's this concept or theory in certain circles that high vibrations can possibly be like throwing off technology. So if you're getting multiple people in a room and then you're discussing topics that are otherworldly, we were literally, one of the first things we talked about just as I was setting up my camera was how time doesn't work the way we think it works. And we were reframing how we see time. And then the first concept that I was trying to lay out for our conversation on sound healing was the illusion of solidity, which I'll talk about. So the technical difficulties followed us basically questioning reality. So reality as we know it. I was able to salvage a few minutes of my time with Henrietta, the sound healer, and that would be the second part of this episode. The first part of this episode is my take on sound healing, how it's possible, and what it's like to receive a sound healing for anyone who's curious. I know, it's like, how could sound heal? And in order to even begin to entertain this question, you have to reimagine the human body. And so this is where I begin usually with the concept of the illusion of solidity. We think we are these like solid, impermeable beings that are practically concrete. We feel solid. But what we've even been taught in, science class is how much space there is inside the human body, how much space there is in everything, really. I think I've heard it said that if an atom was the size of an apple, its closest electron would be the size of a grain of salt, and it would be like a football field away. And so it helps me to go down to the atomic level and then even further into the quantum level and imagine, like, see how much space there is in the matter that makes up your body. And in that way, I kind of see us more as a mesh. And when you see your body in that way, when you see your body as relatively permeable, it allows you to imagine how energy healing modalities work, how it's possible for something like sound to affect you, or even light, any vibration. We're living in a whole vibrational world. So even like the vibration of a tree, the vibration of someone's voice. So there's all of these things in the vibratory world that affect us, and sound being one of the many things. In the second half of this video, Henrietta, the sound healer, explains her take on sound healing and its ability to help us move stuck energy inside of our body. And a lot of other healing modalities are aiming at that same thing too. Like acupuncture is about helping chi move through the meridians of your body. Arguably, even like a massage is trying to do the same thing. So the concept is we're sort of like accumulating a lot of, we'll just call it energy, and that's emotions, that's thoughts, that's tensions, that's nervous systems holding on to things. It's like our bodies are building up a lot of things that will be beneficial for us to let go of or let flow through us. So in this sense too, I think it helps to picture yourself as more of a circuit, like an energetic circuit, like an electrical circuit. Things need to flow and they need to continue flowing. And if electricity is getting stuck in wires, it's really, it really begins to imbalance your body in certain ways. And those really small imbalances, they build up over time and they manifest into bigger and bigger problems over time until you have perhaps an illness or perhaps something that's becoming chronic. So practices of regularly moving energy through our body and doing things that help move energy through our body are really good. And honestly, this is the truth. If you just get a lot of contact with nature and you are honest and real about what's happening in your life, and you let emotions and feelings and thoughts flow, and you are in contact with the natural world, you're a lot less likely to have this problem of having this stuck energy. All of these things that we know are good for us, just do them. Just do them. And if you don't have time to do them, then something like sound healing is a really good complement to a complicated, full modern life where we don't always have the time to take care of ourselves fully on a day-to-day basis. And so a modality like sound healing can really help balance you out in a lot of ways. So what is it like to receive a sound healing? I know that everybody probably wants this like cut and dry answer, like, well, here's the answer, but it's kind of dependent on the day and like what's going on for you. It's kind of like if you were to ask somebody, what is it like to meditate? I mean, well, what day is it? Like, where are you at in life? What emotions are you having that day? There's a lot of factors, but honestly, overall, it's like you walk into this really supportive, therapeutic environment. Like, no one's going to give you a sound healing in an alley. Like, usually these sound healers have really beautiful temple-like spaces that they've curated in order to facilitate high levels of well-being. So right away, it's a feeling of being held, and it's a feeling of, okay, your body just like automatically understands well-being is coming our way. You've made this appointment, let's say, or you're going to this sound bath, let's say, and so you already know you've made that choice, so you're hopefully like receptive to receiving the energy and the healing that will possibly come your way if you're open to it. So you just relax and receive. Receiving is the biggest part, and knowing that you don't have to do anything. That can be hard for people, but literally it's the only thing you need to do is receive. Go there, close your eyes, open your ears, and let whatever is going to happen happen. It's kind of like if you were to take a medicine. Let's say you have this medicine, when you're taking it, you're not thinking, okay, what do I need to do? Like, all you have to do is take it. And then once it's there, it does what it needs to do without you needing to try. So same thing. So receiving a sound healing is about being in a receptive state and just receiving the medicine. And the relaxation that occurs during this time can put your body and your nervous system into that state where it can release into healing and it can release into energy movement. So maybe we don't realize it, but we're actually in a certain level of tension all the time. And when we go to do this sound bath or whatever it may be, our body, for the first time perhaps in a long time, is relaxing and entering a really deep state of restoration. A lot of these modalities and tools and healing mechanisms I see as sort of biohacking your mind, your brain waves, and your body into entering that state that it already knows how to enter. You're helping it enter that state where it can start balancing you in ways that you need balance and healing you in ways that you need to be healed. And I see a sound healing as sort of like a doorway or a portal into your own body, the healing potential of your own biological system. Having said that, you can play around with sound on your own. There's tons of playlists. Binaural beats are great. And always know that no one else is in charge of your healing. I love to go to a sound bath. It's amazing. And but also you are capable of facilitating your own level of that in your own life. So going on to the next part of this now, where you'll see my experience with Henrietta, the sound healer and friend of mine. What is so cool about her bowls is that they're infused, each one is infused with different crystals. They're not different colors just for fun. They're like quartz mixed with, each one is different. One has sunstone, one has moldavite and morganite. So when they're being played, they're actually being played at a frequency and vibration of that particular crystal. And that is like another episode on its own, because it's not just the sounds that sound good to us, it's what is inscripted on the vibrational wave that you're hearing. I'll do a part 2 podcast with Henrietta another day where we'll explain more about that. But for now, here's wisdom from a sound healer.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, we didn't see you there.
We're learning how to quiet the thoughts that have energy so our mind is clear. But when we're constantly in a state of worry or anxiety and thought process, and add on top of that not moving, you can imagine all of that energy just being stuck in our bodies everywhere. Then you bring in something like crystal tone singing bowls and the high frequency of bowls, and now you have this beautiful harmony of sound at a high frequency that's coming and entering into your body, into all of those places where energy has been stuck because you haven't been moving. Now, this is not a cure to like no longer exercise. Our bodies require movement.
Yeah.
But this is another component of using energy and sound to really get into those places where energy is stuck, start to dissolve it and move it away. A lot of that is coming to a place of presence. So we know that in the practice of meditation and with the sound bowls and using our breath, which is life-giving, we can bring life in. We can start to slow down our brain waves so that we get into a place of delta, because you're in a place that's not going to have you get up and move about to ignore it. You're there to address the information that your body is giving to you. So the more often that we can start addressing these energetic pulses that come and either stop or come and flow through, then we can start learning how to use our body as a vessel to transmit energy back and forth. And whether that's within this realm or as we expand out and do it from other realms, it becomes like the most beautiful practice. But we are here in this 3D realm, so we must learn how to use this physical container. And so with the high frequency of the bowls, the harmonics of nature, and the harmony of the bowls, combine that together with slowing down your breath, slowing down your thoughts to almost nothing, allowing the awareness to come through. That is where we can start to heal, or at least acknowledge that part of us that hasn't been addressed in the most positive light. So when I talk about healing, quite generally, I'll say, we're not broken.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
We're not broken. We just haven't learned to acknowledge those parts of ourselves that require more attention, love, and care.
Yes.